The meeting is really just largely about the electricity subcommittee reviewing the responses to the energy regulator suspensive conditions on the concurrence with the ministerial determination on the procurement of 2,500 megawatts of new generation capacity from nuclear. That is the main agenda item that we are dealing with. So as indicated, this decision is not for the electricity subcommittee to make, but rather to actually recommend to the energy regulator. And so that is the agenda item that we're going to be dealing with. By show of hands, members, can we adopt the agenda? As it is, without any change. Thank you, Advocate Sitole, Mr. Mkhize, Madam Spear, and Mr. Pukula. The agenda is so adopted. With that, members, if we can then complete the declaration of interest forms that have been published on BoardPad, please complete those and send them back to the Secretariat. Mr. Pukula, I think it's a lingering hand. Is there anything that you'd like to say on the agenda? Thank you. It was a lingering hand. Thank you. With that, yes, Mr. Pukula. Okay. Computer playing tricks on us. So if we can then go straight to agenda item number 5, which is the responses. Mr. Mavuso, who is going to introduce this matter?
Okay, Chair, what we're going to do, thanks for the platform. What we're going to do, I'm going to do the background, and then Welile will do the our actual analysis supported by Monli. Chair, I'll start by saying that we're here today to discuss the DMRE response to the conditions we have placed on the concurrence of the 2,500 megawatts of nuclear. From an administrative point of view, Chair, the purpose is to note the report from the DMRE attached as Annexure A, to note NESA's analysis as attached as Annexure B, to note, Chair, that the from an ELR perspective, we think that DMRE has satisfied all the substantive conditions, and also we to recommend to ER. The background, Chair, to this application is that it was received in August 2020. And on the 26th of August 2021, we concurred with the conditions. The DMRE has responded to these conditions in 2 chunks, which the final one received on 20 July 2023. In terms of the conditions themselves, Chair, we wanted the DMRE to recognize and also take into account the technological developments in the nuclear space. We know, for example, the different paths that we have, like in terms of pressure water reactors, small modular reactors. We also wanted them to talk to the demand analysis and load profile past 2030. We also needed clarity, Chair, on the project management and procurement approach that we will take. The other one that we wanted this application to talk to the cost and affordability. We know, Chair, for example, Kuberg, which was built in 1976, was built at the tune of 3 billion, which in terms of today's money, that's like 400 billion rands. So we wanted to have these kind of projections. We also wanted the issue, related to pace and scale. How this 2,500 megawatts will be rolled out. Welile, can you come in then just to talk to the our own analysis in terms of the issues that I've listed here in terms of the conditions? Thank you very much.
Yes, no, thank you, Mr. Mavuso. Good morning, Chair. Good morning, members and colleagues. Yes, we have studied the DMRE report that was provided to NESA on the 20th of July of last month. So as Mr. Mavuso has outlined, there were 3 suspensive conditions, and the DMRE has covered these 3 suspensive conditions in their report. The first, of course, was to study advances in nuclear technology and to choose the most appropriate technology to be procured in South Africa for the nuclear build program. So this was addressed by DMRE on pages 11 to 16 of the report and analyzed by NERSA on page 7 to 8 of the report. Then suspensive condition number 2 was to investigate the affordability, as Mr. Mavuso has said, pace and scale of the implementation of the program, and also to surmise the rationality behind the choice of 2,500 megawatts of nuclear. And this was addressed in the DMRE report on pages 17 to 43 and analyzed on pages 9 to 12 of the NERSA analysis report. And then lastly, we asked them to explore the most suitable contractual model that will be suitable for the nuclear build program in order to minimize the risk of cost and time overruns. So they address this on pages 44 to 46 of the report, and we analyzed it on page 13 in the NERSA report, which is annexed as Annexure B. So, Chair, I would also just want to comment on the fact that on page 12, there were some issues of enhancements which no longer apply, because in the final report that that has been edited by English editing, that has been covered. But there were actually no additional enhancements, just to summarize that. So we do therefore recommend, as per section 14 of the cover submission, that the electricity subcommittee notes the report from the DMRE, which is annexed as Annexure A, to note the NERSA analysis in Annexure B, and to also note that the department has fulfilled and satisfied all suspensive conditions with regards to the concurrence that was approved by the ER on 26 August 2021. So with that, Chair, I will say thank you and hand back over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mavuso and team. May I just correct something before opening to the members? As per the recommendation by RSU, we should actually read paragraph 14 as the ELS will recommend to ER to note, because this matter is not delegated to the electric subcommittee. So the committee can only recommend to ER to note the report, to note the analysis, and to also note that the department has satisfied all of the conditions. So that is the slight change, members, in terms of paragraph 14. But can I then open it up for a discussion, members? If there are any questions. By show of hands. Thank you, Madam Spear.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Chair. Thank you to the presenter. Chair, for me, it's just one clarity matter on this issue. I note the responses from DMRE. The issue that I had while looking at this issue is the role played by NNR. They are a similar regulator like ourselves. Or like briefly, I know we can't be adding new issues at this stage, but is there a role still to be played by NNR, or there is a closed door? I'm talking about the national nuclear regulator with regards to this issue, because I'm sure there are aspects of the Nuclear Energy Act which requests them to play a part in this issue. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Madam. Any other questions from members? If not, can I hand it over back to you, Mr. Mavuso and team, if you can respond to that.
Yes, no, thank you, Chair. Thank you for the question. On page 9 of the DMRE report, they have alluded to the fact that they have worked with the nuclear body, as mentioned. So the DMRE has mentioned that they have consulted with many bodies, including the National Nuclear Energy Executive Coordination Committee, as well as the nuclear regulator. If you recall, also in 2016, the DMRE did embark on a nuclear build program, or rather the preparations thereof. And so they have mentioned that also, that they have done all those consultations and preparations. Yeah, no, thank you, Chair. I'll stop there. Thank you.
Thank you. Maybe just to add, Madam, the NNR is a technical regulator, technical nuclear regulator. It has got its clear responsibilities. Our role in this particular case was just about concurrence in respect of procurement of additional power. But the role played by other regulators, as basically they are clear, and the expectation is that they will still continue to they will still need to be consulted. That and that will include the Department of Environmental Affairs and so forth, water and so forth. So those they will play their role. But ours, in this particular case, our scope was very, very limited. Mr. Mkhize?
Thanks, Chairperson. I'm just thinking that maybe in line with the conclusion under 3.2, which is on page 13, page 71 of the green labeled pages, to if we're to indicate that we're talking of preparations inclusive of procurement and in line with the laws of the Republic, then it will cover that any other issue that will pertain to any other authority besides ourselves. And in that manner, it will be all-encompassing. I know it may be seen as being superfluous, but I think it will assist in terms of covering whatever that they need to comply with, because it's not that we got a blanket authority from our side. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. That will be incorporated, but I think the guidance is always going to be, we have to remember we had already concurred. So it was just about the evaluation of those of the extent to which the department was satisfying the necessary suspensive conditions. So as long as whatever that we are doing, it's not like we are concurring anew. The ER had already concurred on the 26th of August 2021 with this particular procurement, subject to these conditions. So it is really about the analysis of whether these conditions that were put up were actually fully satisfied. So whatever that we do, I think it's important that we are clear on that it's not about making there is no new decision that is being made. With that, members, any other questions, comments? If not, can I then take you to the decision that is sought, which is as paragraph 14. It has been read to the into the record, but with that slight modification that says the electricity subcommittee is in fact recommending to ER. It's not the ELS that is making that which is noting. It is recommending for the energy regulator to note. So with a show of hands, members, can we then note? Can we then recommend the noting? Sorry. Thank you, Mr. Mkhize, Madam Spear, Advocate Sithole, and Mr. Bukula. So the item is so noted, and also it shall then be recommended to the energy regulator for consideration. Thank you, members. That concludes item number 5. If we can then now go to item number 6, official notices and personnel are taken as read. Madam Kapika.
Thank you, Chairperson. Yes, we can take the official notices as read, Chair, but just to...
Sorry, before you do, I see Advocate Sithole's hand is up.
Chair, I thought we were going to close the meeting.
Oh, yes, you're right. Apologies. Thank you. Yes, thank you for the reminder. Can we then, Mr. Mateja, close the meeting to the public? And I'd like to thank the public for having followed our meeting.
It's closed.